all about the attacks and advanced persistent threats, which we have been talking about perhaps from yesterday's session. So just putting some points from my side on it. So few points which I would be covering in is what exactly the current state of cybersecurity is, what exactly do we mean by, or the common person whom we meet every day in various organizations, they understand from targeted attacks, what attack surface is being used and how they do it. Very normally we talk about APTs, but APTs is not just another malware category. How these two contributing factors, human and technology, they come together when it comes to facing attacks or maybe mitigating them. Antivirus technologies and mitigation of these attacks, and so definitely there's nothing new to talk about that there's been consistent growth in malware attacks and being and cybercrime incidents. Perhaps it was a quarterly matter sometime, but now it has been every day. Means very recently you must have seen that somebody had iCloud and stole some photographs got leaked. No platform or operating system is 100% foolproof from and can claim to be purely immune from threat. There has been exponential growth in highly sophisticated and advanced global criminal society, which are in touch with each other and they share information with each other. There has been change in the motivation level perhaps, that what do you wanted to do earlier with the attack which you created and what you are currently doing with that. They have become more persistent, attacks have become more persistent, more pervasive, and in some cases they are very much focused to a specific organization or a specific critical infrastructure than they were ever before. Now let's see how this landscape has been changed. I mean, if you see, I have divided this whole era into some period of how the internet thing has been evolved. So the first PC virus was found in the era of 1986 and 1995. It was nothing but just a bunch of script buddies who were trying to play with scripts and they invented something. There was no motivation for them. There was no actual intention of doing or causing any harm. They were usually boot sector viruses which came into existence, which used to attack the system before it gets booted. Definitely the platform available at that time for them was also limited. It was only 16-bit disk operating system which was being used. Then came the next era of 1995 to 2000. This era changed the world completely. Every household got a PC. They were the more complex and scripted viruses, faster propagation, and definitely the Windows was there, which actually made everybody to use the computer. Then came the golden era for the attackers, which was the era of 2000 to 2005. The broadband came. Every home and household has an internet now, which actually pushed the propagation of viruses, which was never before. New words came into the dictionary of viruses and targets like phishing, botnets, rootkits. Definitely the new motivation has came, which was financial motivation, because one more word came into existence, that was called e-commerce. People started using computers for their financial transactions. Even public sector banks enter into internet banking, mobile banking, which was never thought by, I'm just talking in the Indian context, it was very new for a country to do. Like you're transferring money to where a common man is shopping and all that through internet. And definitely the operating system and the platform was growing for these targets to grow. Then came the era of 2006 to now. It was era of apps. It was no longer era of files and data. It is the era of apps. Big data, all is running through applications. Everything is dependent on applications. Rapid growth of online population, definitely. You cannot, I mean, if you go to tier 2 and tier 3 cities also, there has been a rapid growth of online population. Definitely a lot of people, gives a lot of platform for attackers, and definitely the APTs, advanced persistent threats. So what is exactly a target attack? Target attack is basically an attack which is definitely being made keeping anybody in mind. Now who can be this target? An individual, a corporate sector, a government organization, or any specific industry. Or rather anyone who attackers thinks is important to him. Now who is this attacker? It can be state-sponsored groups, it can be cyber criminal, activist, or any competitor in your business. Now mass is not target. Target attack, there is a difference between target attacks and mass attacks. Mass attacks are not designed and propagated keeping in any specific industry or individual in mind. They have been just thrown. There is largely, that's more of a nuisance rather than having any kind of financial motivation or any kind of competitive motivation behind them. So they are necessarily not as sophisticated as APT could be. So behind targeted attacks, the motivation changes. It becomes political, it becomes terrorism, it can be theft for intellectual property, and the recent one is CryptoLocker. You keep your data with yourself but you can't open it. So you can see the change the way people used to work. These attackers used to work. Like earlier they used to try to steal your data through spywares and taking control of your systems. Now they don't do it. They are not bothered about it. They say you keep your data with you, but you can't use it. Pay money and use it. So how do they do it? The first and most important thing is profiling of the attack. Because more you know about your target, more precisely you can form an attack for them. Research and development of APT and hardening of it. Hardening is like charging a missile to fire. Intrusion and deployment. Set update channel and strengthen the foothold. Exfiltrate data and achieve the ultimate goal. And remain addicted and final cleanup. This is the most interesting thing about these guys, that they do not leave traces. They clean themselves, they destroy themselves, and they clean the surface where they were deployed and updated. And the one more thing that is being done, we have seen last time, in recent era. Earlier it was inbound attack. I mean, where the attacker used to say, I want this information. It was somehow easy for security companies to detect that and to stop that. But now what they say, the target which is attacked, it says, what do you want, sir? So it becomes outbound. So most of the conventional security systems are designed to detect inbound traffic. In a normal office premises also, when a person comes in, security guard checks him, he gives him a badge, once he is done with his meeting, when he leaves back, security guard hardly checks him. It's a common way of deploying a security system in any organization. Now what is the entry point for use by this attacker? The first and the most important are insiders. Insiders are the users. People are so habituated to the computer using systems on mobile and PDAs and everything that they do it carelessly. More habituated and more expert you become in any system, and more careless you become. You click on anything, you download anything without thinking what it might cause. You must be aware of the attack. Nobody is spared. So one of the most famous companies, security companies, RSA, has been not even spared. Some declare it, some don't. But even RSA was not spared, and what caused RSA attack on RSA was just downloading a file which should have not been downloaded. And I don't think the people who work in RSA, most of them, they understand technology better than anybody who is walking on the road. An email with attachment, the most common and vulnerable plot is email with attachment. Zero-day vulnerabilities, as Mr. Berman was talking in the session, that most of the OS and most of the apps are not patched up. They have loopholes because most of the apps which have been actually been developed, they do not follow the security system for them in their SDLC while developing the apps or the software. Definitely Word, Excel and all those things. Now APT is not just a malware. It's not another category of malware which you can talk very lightly. It's advanced. It's advanced, it has an ability to evade from the protection. No matter what kind of antivirus you have deployed, no matter what kind of firewall you are using at the gateway, it has an ability to evade from that. It has an ability to steal. It is persistent. It understands how to outlive the very file system it has been created, which is created it. It kills itself after its work is done. And threat, everything is at risk. Nothing is spared. So you cannot define it can be only done for this thing or that thing, it can be done for everything. Examples I will not talk about, you all know Stuxnet, GhostNet and everything. Now what are important factors behind successful target attack? The technology factor, bypassing the traditional security, which doesn't actually is being built for APTs to handle, because APTs require a different kind of treatment when you want to handle them. Flaws in software architecture and design, because there are some norms which have to be followed by the companies that while during their developing their system or designing their blueprints, but hardly any, because it's designing an app or designing a software is a household issue nowadays. Because Android is there now, everybody is open forum, everybody can design any kind of app. You can find an app for everything which you know, like running, when you go and jogging in the morning, you have an app for that. Outdated and unpatched operating system, we have already talked about it. Yes, the more important here is the human factor. Nowadays, cyber criminals are highly organized and sophisticated. And to face the sophisticated and highly organized cyber criminals, is an unaware, irresponsible user on the other hand. So it's an extreme black and white matchup. So application developers not following SDLC. So what exactly, how do we mitigate from these attacks? Only signature-based detection is not enough nowadays. You have to be behavioral-based detection, you have to be more heuristic in nature, you have to find the loopholes in every possible area. And the most important is we have a lot of things to speak upon. We have a lot of things to which alerts us in terms of security, but we don't pay attention to it. How do we use the application? How do we use the application? Do we ever follow the multi-layer security approach? Single-layer security is no longer the subject for the day. Hardening of the security settings for all applications which you use, like Microsoft Enhanced Mitigation Experience. Everybody uses Windows, but do we actually off the Java settings of any application which might create the vulnerability? Do we disable the multimedia player, which is now every application likes to talk to? So these are the very important approaches we can have. Users, employees, definitely social engineering can never die. Social engineering will always be there. Leaking out password from an employee or doing something which will create a loophole in the security of the organization will always be there and will remain the most dangerous problem for any organization or any government institution. So we really have to make them learn and to perform better. Now how do we do that? There is a very interesting concept of giving we have a mock drill for fire session, we have a mock drill for riots, we have mock drill for everything. But we do not have a mock drill for a cyber security program. How many times do we do a mock drill that how a user is behaving? And the very good thing is offer an year security bonus. Make it financial. Pay them if they will behave well ITically. Right? So earlier, moving out from the general way of prevention, detection, and mitigation, now we have to use certain more things like preparedness, detection and response. We need to respond back what we have saved ourselves from. And that will be done through education. We need to educate people how to behave nicely on a computer. Because unless, so the mantra is DDoS, not the attack, distributed denial of service. The mantra is design a good security strategy, development efficient security infrastructure, observe and track at early stage. It's like cancer. If you can track it early, you can kill it or else forget it. And definitely security should be in culture. Like we remain alert on roads, we remain alert in our houses, we have to remain alert when we are online. So that's all from my side. Thank you.